Out of Date says there'll be consequences of the war, but there are more pressing matters at hand. The last World Eater has been left undisturbed with the tree while you focused on the war. He thought someone with your light perspective and key would have had different priorities and faced the World Eaters before resolving the tribe war. Regardless, Out of Date is grateful the tribe war is over. Out of Date understands the road has been rough, but you already know what's left to end this journey, and it'll be tough. You're the only one that's strong enough to face the last World Eater. The future depends on someone with a light perspective to give the world a chance to survive. Only time will tell what the future holds, and if it will bring a lasting peace for those that make it to the end. Out of Date says the word about what you've done so far is spreading. The tribes haven't lost hope yet. He appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's had urgent news from his friend Wiz in the northwest. He's unsure about your intentions, but hopes you'll support Wiz. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Wiz and making sure he gets what he needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date's hunch is real. The Merc Puff is up next. Out of Date says that Wiz is worried now that the Northwest World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Wiz is working on an undersurf vessel in order to get to the World Eater, but needs help to get it done. Out of Date suggests that you should head northwest as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He's happy to help. So, says you covered the important things already. Easy to lose your way if you can't see landmarks. That's sure to be useful. The Surge Surf Factory. Keep your eye out for Wiz while you're here. Let's see. Look at the notices on that board. No one paid much attention to them, it looks like. Wiz should be around here somewhere, probably taking care of his guppos. A surge surf factory was one of the cleaner ways to make power, until the surf turned into goo and clogged it all up, that is. The thicker the surf became with goo, the more the machinery clogged up and stopped working. Like most things from the bygone. There are sure to be more tracks around here, maybe by the shore. Wuz isn't easy on the tongue, but I think he says he's happy to see a friendly face. Not too many of those around these days. Says it's good to see you again. He's Wiz. You might remember him from the old days when he let you try his octopod? Wiz remembers you were such a cheery kid, and he's glad to see that light hasn't faded from you, despite the years. But Wiz understands it was a long time ago, and memories get murkier the deeper you go, but says it helps to have friends with you to plumb those depths. He set up camp at the foot of the Tree of Life. It's gotten more difficult for it to find defenseless prey, as it's already eaten most of them. Wiz says our memory keeps things for us, preserves them until we are ready to face them again. He knows you've returned to face Lupa Lupin, and that confrontation is as inevitable as the tides. He's not surprised that the loss of your family could plunge you into the depths forever, but you've always been able to rise like a bubble to the surface, no matter what. He knows that though the tides of history may push you in one direction, you can always lay your own course. He feels you've deserved revenge because of how you were wronged. You've suffered enough to make him pay.
Can you feel that? It's getting dusky in here.
Right! Slow down with the dark! You still have time!
No! Get your foot off the brake! Full speed ahead!
Full speed into a U-turn!
What? No! Ahead!
Asks if you ever think about freedom and whether any of us really has it. Did you make the decisions that brought you here, or are you just a pawn of fate? Maybe that's true for you, but he's not so sure about his own fate. Amazed the world is going to continue on, but happy to hear it. Still so many things to invent. Impressed that you fought so hard to keep the world spinning. Thinks you were smart to join with the Myriad. They have a rainbow of ways to approach any problem. Says they're unified in the ways that matter. But that's not nearly as important as this. Wiz says that you should let the past dwell in the depths, but there's something else down there too, gnawing at the Tree of Life. He's named it the Merc Puff. This is why he's tinker-tonkering with the octopod. But the lid got stuck, so he needs a big enough tug twister to open it up and let you a-go-in. He can't leave the surge station, so you must help him find a tug twister. There's a wound-up mecha Fingro in the mecha stadium that still has one stuck on its back. Find it, and you'll find the tug twister. It's definitely made to lend a helping hand and do the heavy lifting. Toxanol records mention it as an automaton made for moving bionucleus matter into storage areas. Get things done before the darkness falls again. Impressed you found that, despite all the goo. This place has held power for a long time. In many ways, it still does. That would require cleaning up all the goo. Glad you found that track. There's a lot to learn about this world, both here and beyond. Wood scrap's great for building things. Keep on tracking down here and things will look up eventually. That's the hut hut. Wonder if there's anything still inside. Never thought I'd see it. You need to get the pegs lined up to get the clothes soaker roll. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You need to turn the pegs in sync. That's spiraled out of control. You need to turn the pegs in sync. You really put a spin on it. Don't worry too much about how dangerous it can be here. Sunburnt. Ah, see that e-waste? Always handy. Don't want to point a finger, but the Mecha Stadium is near here. There are tough times ahead. Gonna need a key of some kind. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You look great. The water trickles through everything. You need to loosen the bolts without unsettling it. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's it. The tug twister's loose. Let's hope it turned the grabbing hand into a helping hand, too. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. A pause place. Probably cleaned out, but you never know. You have a chance to change the future for good or bad. That wood scrap seems like it would be perfect for your plans. History is not... He believed the tug twister would do the trick, but now realizes brute force won't do the trick. You need something slick. He agrees that it's an option if you want to break stuff, but in this case you want to keep things intact, so it won't leak once you get undersurf. He says the lid should open if you sprinkle grease it. Problem is, he's all out. He knows his old friend Choo-Choo always keeps his grease sprinklers well filled. He should have an extra that you can borrow. He stresses that you should come back as soon as you've retrieved the grease sprinkler. The Merc Puff is crunching bark by the minute. Wiz heard he's currently stranded at the end of the line, so it should be easier to track him down now compared to when he's running rails. Couldn't stand another hour of daylight. At various stages of life, we all become memories for others, and just seeing someone acts as a catalyst for the past to seep in again. Memory distortions are troubling. Illusions your mind creates to avoid the memories of being bullied as a kidling. However, there's no doubt that what you remember makes your future different. So, you remembered the automaton's power-up feature. That's a boost. Hey, this is a chug depot. Might be able to catch a chugger here. Like stabbing from a distance. Sizzler. So much damage. You're such a luckster. Breathe in that day shine. Look at those muscles. You've reached the end of the line. Bet you can find Choo-Choo here. That's Punchy's place up in that little blimp. No better upgrade bench around. Let's see. The vendor says you can browse his goods any time during opening hours. Can sense you want to practice your skills at bartering. Flex those arms. The daytime makes it harder for things to sneak up on you. Hey, you could probably make something glossy with plastic scrap. You need to swivel the globus's bearings. Just a few moves left. Make them count. You need to swivel the globus's bearings. You need to swivel the globus's bearings. Choo-Choo knew you would make it to him one day. All you had to do was follow the steel path. The rails might be getting rusty, but eventually they all converge on him. Claims rails are like rules. If you follow them the way you're supposed to, everything good in life can roll your way. Says you followed the rails to where you need to be, but tracks have switches in them too. The question is then, will you keep on the same track or look for a way to hit that switch? You seem like you're on the right track already. He just hopes you don't get sidetracked onto a darker path. Whichever way you go, he wants you to know that the rails never steer you wrong. Stick to them and they always bring you right to where you're meant to be. Wants to know if you've ever regretted taking one track in life instead of another. If you could go back, would you switch tracks or keep chugging along the one you're on? Likes your sureness, the way you keep at it like a chug-chug with no way to reverse. Seems like the world came out of its rut and is chugging toward higher ground again. Can't thank you enough for hitting the brakes and working to turn the world chug around. But let's not get derailed. Says he's surprised to see anyone this far out, but sometimes the wrong train does take you to the right station. As you can see, he didn't plan to make a stop here, but now that he had to, he's really happy to see you. He says his name is Choo Choo. He's been off track since the world started dying, but he's trained his mind to stay positive regardless of the situation. Thinks that's fine, but there's no path in this world that's not been already made. He's convinced the tracks are like the paths our lives take, and you must deal with the outcome, even if you didn't lay them yourself. This time, though, he was sidetracked and needs a new wing nut to get back on track. Wing nuts are easy to find, as they're fitted on any in-front chugger-chugger out there. The challenge is taking them off, so he's happy you're here to do it for him. Says he knew you would, like he knows the way the rails run. Wheel the control box handles to buzz the wire. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Wired up and ready to go.